Hey everybody, my name is Kelly with Heartful Way Reiki, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to Chat With Me Friday, where I give you a recap on my week, both of my personal life as well as what's going on in my Reiki business. So I have a lot to share with you today. Grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's hop into it. So today is Friday, and a lot happened with me this week, both personally that I'm going to share with you. Nothing crazy, big, and exciting or anything like that. Just some things that I'm doing and incorporating into my life that I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to share this on my YouTube channel and share it with my viewers. So, well, first of all, I want to tell you guys that this sweatshirt. I've been wanting an oversized, comfy sweatshirt, and today was the perfect day. We came up to the co-working space, and we is me and my husband, and to work, and it was humid out. We walked up in short sleeves, and the weather started turning a bit. It started raining and getting a little bit more chilly than it was. And I'm like, on our way home, it's going to be chilly later this afternoon, early evening. So we walked down State Street and went to a store called Ragstock. Now, think in Madison, it's the only time I've ever been to a Ragstock. And they have vintage and recycled clothes. And I don't know if it's really resale. I'm not really sure where they actually get their clothing, but it's fun. It's fun to go in and look through the items, and of course, you know me, I am total what's going on for sale. I'm totally into thrifting. I'm totally into sustainable fashion, and I found this sweatshirt for a mere $10. I was all over it. It's perfect, it's warm, it's comfy, and it just checked all the boxes. So I got that today. So that's happened today, and that was like really, really fun. So what I did is compiled a list of like highlights that I want to share with you today that happened in the last week. I'm going to go back and forth between business and personal life. And the first thing I want to share with you is that every day my morning routine starts off with writing in this dingbat. It's called a dingbat journal. And really that's the brand of it. I love this journal. And it's got like these little, I didn't know if I'd really like these or not, these little dots, but I actually do. And like see how I do it? I just write each and every day. So what I'm doing is I've journaled for years. But when I left my first marriage, I thought I'm going to stay on a positive track, and I'm going to write down something amazing that happened in my life from the day before. So that's what I'm doing. I'm capturing all that. And I really feel like this is I won't want to say oral tradition because it's written down, obviously, but it captures our time and our culture. And I think this is going to be a really cool thing for my grandchildren someday. So just capturing my history as well as the history of what's going on in our world today. So I use this, and I believe that's like archival kind of paper. So, and I use these pens called Micron archival ink pens. And I really like these too. So I get them in different colors, so my writing and my sheets can be a little bit more colorful. I've tried different things like bullet journaling and things like that, and I never could really stick to it. But what I have going on so far is like I write the date today, and then I capture any highlights from yesterday, just write it out, just basically just dumping. I don't pay attention to my grammar or my spelling. I don't get into all that. I just free flow and write things down like a brain dump on the page. And then I write gratitudes from like the day before. Like today's Wednesday, I write gratitudes from Tuesday. Like today's not really Wednesday, but like Friday. So I'll say like gratitudes from Thursday. And I write down just little things and what I'm grateful for in my life. And I'm really liking this practice because it makes me look out into my world and see how much abundance I really have in my life right now. And that leads me on to, again, I'm going to be all over the place here, but what I'm reading and what I'm listening to. And that abundance portion that I just talked about reminded me of this YouTube video I came across with an interview with a gentleman named Ken Honda. Yeah, that's right, just like the car, Honda. So look him up. He published a book here in the United States. He's Japanese, and it's called Happy Money. And he talks all about your relationship with money, and money is just energy. And you know how I got to make up a bunch of talking points on what he's saying, but he talks about how in American culture we're all about wanting more. You know, in Japanese culture they're all about being grateful for what you already have. So, you know, here we're always trying to build this bigger money container. And in Japan, they're always like trying to, like, how am I happy with the container I'm in right now? So it's just a really different way of thinking. And he has a lot of other key points, but look him up. His name is Ken Honda. I did see him on Impact Theory. That's another YouTube video show I watch. I don't want to call it a show, but the guy behind it he calls it Impact Theory, and he creates videos, and it's all about mindset and, you know, manifesting and all these things that you have to do to create, or should do to create a really great life. So that's where I found him initially, and then I just saw him on a couple other interviews. But Ken Honda, check him out. He's awesome. What I'm reading, so this week I started reading the Reiki Source. This is from Bronwyn and Franz Stein. They teach Reiki in the traditional Japanese tradition, and which is similar to how I teach, but a little bit different. A lot of it's the same. They just don't go into like Holy Fire Reiki, which my lineage has evolved into. But it's really great. They talk a lot about the history, in which I'm really getting into the history of Reiki and where it originated from, and really the spiritual practice behind it. And I'm really getting into bringing Reiki into every single thing. Every morning when I wake up and I'm writing, it's like my intention is I am going to bring Reiki into every aspect of my life. So it's like with all my intention, Reiki flow into everything I touch, every person I run into. And it's just really, really created this really great energy around me, and really around me and going forward and outward as I walk into my life, walk into my day. It's just really created a great energy around me. So I'm very thankful and grateful for that I'm carrying that with me. I did have last weekend, so when I got on here last Friday, I was heading into a 2-day online Reiki level 1 and level 2 training, and that went amazing. I love, and from my vantage point, hopefully it was for the students as well, but what I really loved about it was just being able to teach this from the comfort of my own home. I was right there. We could take breaks. The bathroom was right there. It just was really, I found that there was so much ease into it. And I created these PowerPoints, and I that had all my talking points on it, and it really helped me stay on task. And we had some really cool conversations, and a lot of good questions came up. And I was just really, really honored to be able to share this practice and to share this teaching with my students. It really was a great, awe-inspiring experience for me. So I'm very grateful for that weekend. Um, all in all, last week I worked 40 hours. What I'm doing is actually keeping track of the hours that I'm working. And the reason that I'm doing that is because sometimes I feel like I'm like all over the place and I have no grounding, and I really want to track the hours that I am working. And this is probably goes back to our 9 to 5 mentality, or I should say my mentality, that you have to put in 40 hours a week to even validate what, being a good worker, and I don't really think you do. Obviously, I think that mentality comes from like punching a clock, right? And I've always, from my whole life that I've worked, it's all been about the money that you get per hour, and the time that you put in, you're punching in and out. And it's just, I really feel that, I want to get away from that mentality and that thought, but I'm just like tracking these hours right now. But with that, I felt like, oh my gosh, I worked so many hours last week. And so I don't know how long I'll track that, because as you can tell, it's kind of shifting my mindset, like, oh my God, I'm working so much. And really, that's the narrative that I'm putting on it, right? So, and something that I want to move away from. So, and onward into a personal thing, I have been doing Pilates all week. And it came from, I was talking to my neighbor over the weekend, and she had said that she goes to Pilates because it's a big long story about how the strength in her body, she was losing the strength in her body because she had some kind of, like, it's called Cushing disease, where it really affects the muscles of her body and all this other stuff. But she started going to Pilates, and this Pilates instructor actually helps her with her alignment and making sure that the body is all, straight and narrow. And she makes adjustments by using trigger points that brings her back into alignment, and I don't know whatever else she does with her, but I was very intrigued with this, and I thought, I'm going to do some Pilates. I've wanted to get into some kind of form of exercise, and I've studied and practiced yoga and taught yoga for years now, but I wanted to get into a little bit something different. I wanted a fresh look and perspective on exercise. So I'm like, I'm going to try Pilates after I had that conversation. And I found this lady on YouTube that does these short little videos. And so far, it's been really fun. So every single morning, I'm doing two 10-minute videos. So just a really short workout, because I just wanted to ease into it. That's how I do things. I ease into it. And so far, you guys, I'm really, really loving it. So if you're looking for something that really gets your body moving in all these other ways, and when I say that, I'm like, we walk all the time. I'm walking at least 3 miles a day, and I wanted something to strengthen my legs, to strengthen my hips, to strengthen my core, to get more range of motion in my spine, because I think these things are so important as we age. So far, I'm having fun with these Pilates and these workouts. This past week, transitioning into my next subject, it marked my 8th year anniversary living here in Madison, Wisconsin. And I'm really, really I cannot believe how wonderful moving here worked out for me. I really, really, I still love this city. I was always drawn to move here without hardly ever visiting here. So I'm like, okay, something's calling me there. So I just came here and I thought, I'm just going to go visit for the summer and see how I like it. Totally fell in love with it. And my intention is I wanted to go live in a city as an adult and be in a place where I could explore my meditation and yoga practice a little further, a little deeper, and just be in a place where people are more open-minded about so many things, and you could have deeper conversations with people. And I just love it here. still to this day, 8 years later. So that's really cool. I have done some shifts besides the Pilates, is trying to clean up my eating. And I'm not sure if I've talked about this before or not, but so I started reading some things online, and this is kind of going back to my Reiki business and my Reiki practice, is how to eat and the things to intake and do so that your Reiki, so that you're a better channel for Reiki energy. And a few of those things were diet and exercise, what you're putting into your body and how you're maintaining your body. And some of those things are like, don't eat meat, don't eat processed foods, eat more fruits and vegetables, limit sugar, which is a big thing, limit alcohol, exercise. And so these are some of the things I'm trying to incorporate into my day-to-day life. I don't think my diet was bad before, and it's just, I'm really cleaning up. I really feel a lot better from just making a few minor adjustments, like I haven't eaten any meat all week. Trying to get most of my protein from eggs or vegetables or protein bars, or there's some vegetables too, yogurt, things of that nature. So it's really, I've really seen a difference in how I feel. Something that you guys probably don't really know about is that I'm rekindling my reselling business. I started this maybe last year. I watch all these resellers on YouTube, and selling stuff on eBay and Poshmark has been something that, especially eBay, I've done eBay for probably 20 years and just selling things from time to time. And I really want to get back into it on a semi part-time basis, because I always dreamed, now it's interweaving into my Reiki business again. I've always pictured myself doing a reselling type of business alongside of a spiritual based business. Okay, so one feeds into the other. So this reselling business can be another source of income for me. Okay, so I am going to start up at doing, so what you really is important to, when you're reselling, is to list consistently, and I don't list consistently, so I'm going to start getting back into that again. And I found a free cross-listing tool that I can use, that I can post to both eBay and Poshmark, so I don't have to like recreate the listing each and every time for these two things, so I have more eyes on my product. You guys, I should have started off with this tick tock videos. I am experimenting and exploring with TikTok. I came across some information that said that TikTok is the fastest growing social media marketing tool there is out there. So I'm like, why don't I go on it? Well, I was looking at what other people were doing for Reiki, and I'm like, some people are way out there, and that's their bag, that's them, they're coming out as their authentic selves. That's great and everything, but to me, I felt like, is this taking the sacredness away from Reiki? I think of Reiki as a very deep spiritual practice, and to me, it's very sacred. And I didn't want to go into something that it would take the integrity away from that. But I talked to a girl last night and we were talking about Reiki. I'm like, well, and I was going on, I'm like, well, wait, what do you know about Reiki? She goes, only what I know from TikTok. But that's not the kicker. The kicker is that she goes, I'm off of all social media except for TikTok. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So she's not posting, but she's watching. So TikTok is a place where we can educate people on what Reiki is and what it can do for us. So I'm going to get into TikTok. and play with that a little bit. So I was talking to my husband this morning, where do I want to place my energy? Should it be on Facebook? Should it be on Instagram? Of course, he's like, all over the place. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. All the things. I'm like, oh boy, honey, I don't know about that, but we're going to see how that goes. Okay, so that's going to be my next adventure. So Reiki business, reselling, TikTok. And the fourth thing that I'll be working on is helping my husband in his web design business. My husband does websites, and he has been doing it since 95, 96, something like that. He taught himself because he's a genius that way. And he's been doing it for that long. And his first big break was when he did the website for J&B Whiskey. And he worked with The Onion. And he created, he said, hundreds of banner ads for The Onion and running these contests. So he's got quite the story about how he started, and I finally tracked down the years, but I am going to start working with him and helping support him with marketing the business, because that's where our bread and butter comes from right now, is web design and creating websites. So watch for more information on that coming out. And then finally, looking here in front of me, I'm like, put all my what I need to talk about here down in front of me. Finally, I am a Green Bay Packer season ticket holder. Thank you very much, Grandpa Jack. My grandpa used to work at a bank, and the bank that he worked at, and this was back in the 70s, so the bank was in charge of all the Packer tickets. And so what would happen is my grandpa worked with the guy that was in charge of the tickets. And so I was very blessed that my family was able to get season tickets. And I have 2 seats. My sister's got 2 seats. We split these 4 seats, which are amazing. And I've been to so many Packer games, you guys. And I'm just at the point where let somebody else enjoy going to a Packer game, right? So I'm going to be selling my tickets, and I'm going to keep you updated on this, because I think I can get some really good money for these Packer tickets, and I'm really excited about that. And as you know, my tickets are $150, $157 a piece, face value. But if I sell them, I can double, or sometimes double and a half, triple my money on them. So we're gonna see how it goes. And and I think that's it for this Friday. I know this has been a little bit long, but again, I had a lot to share with you. And I am not drinking CBD coffee, but I'm drinking turmeric lemon tea today, because that's another thing I'm trying to do, is cut back on my caffeine. I don't drink a lot in general. I don't drink soda. But I do drink coffee every morning, and then have maybe a cup throughout the day, but not a whole lot. But I just want to keep that in, and I found that even at 1 cup, I get a little bit more shaky than I want to. So I'm going to start drinking more tea, herbal tea, and it's so good for you. So I think it's very calming. I don't know what in the summertime, because it's really nice in the wintertime, but we'll see how it goes. When I don't drink it so hot, I can still drink it. It tastes really good when it's kind of lukewarm, so I don't mind that. But thanks for watching, you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in to my life and my business. And over the past week, it's gone really good. I'm going to start, I have another Reiki class coming up in July, Reiki level 1 and 2. So if you know anybody that wants to take advantage of that, anybody can learn Reiki. Reiki is so easy, and it's such a blessing to be able to have this practice to root and ground me and help me share it with others, so that other people can find more harmony, more peace, more joy, more happiness, more fulfillment in their life. And it starts with you, and it starts with your daily Reiki practice. So thanks for joining me today. Have a very awesome weekend. I'm excited to do some organizing around my condo and get out there on my bike with my husband, enjoy the weather, and just be in nature this weekend and grounding myself and sending love and light and blessings to you all. Thank you. Namaste.